one lane there around this semi-truck, and absolutely trying to play games here with that primary officer behind him. And now the lights are completely off once again. Headlights off, tail lights off. Hovering between 70 and 80 miles per hour as he applies a little more gas here. That's still CHP overhead. That CHP helicopter still following along. LAPD monitoring this pursuit in the event that he gets off of the freeway. Could put them on surface streets here in the San Fernando Valley, but in any event, certainly appears to be continuing the ride along the 5 freeway here, which is solidly in California Highway Patrol's jurisdiction, using that shoulder to get around some of this traffic and maybe thinking about an exit again, or we might see a last-minute swerve back over to the left. We'll see what happens here. He's got a few exits coming up as he gets into Sun Valley. Getting off the freeway, committing to that exit ramp. That could be Glen Oaks, or will this put him on Roscoe Boulevard, but turning around on Roscoe. This could put him back on the freeway. Yep. Flipped it around and now going southbound on the 5 freeway. So he got off just briefly, used that Roscoe exit to turn around, and is now continuing southbound on the 5 freeway, back in the direction that he started in. So to recap here, he started further south of downtown in LA County Sheriff's Century Division, up the 5 freeway before getting off at the East LA Interchange. Took the 10 freeway out to the San Gabriel Valley a bit, turned around like we just saw on the 5, made his way over to the 5 freeway, northbound 5 for some distance, all the way into the San Fernando Valley, and now he has flipped it around once again, now going southbound on the 5 freeway, heading back towards Burbank Airport off to his right, and getting back over to the that number 1 lane. We'll see if he jumps in the carpool lane or just straddles these middle lanes here. But in any event, traffic was relatively light if he would have continued north. As he gets further south and we come around Griffith Park again, if he stays on the 5 freeway, I think we'll see a little bit more traffic on the southbound side closer to downtown LA. We'll see how the traffic patterns behave here, but in any event, he is continuing at a high rate of speed, about 70 miles per hour, southbound side of the 5 freeway through Burbank. Headlights back on and now pushing about 90 miles per hour. Again, a male and what appears to be a female in the passenger seat. Unclear how many people are inside the vehicle, only to say that they are wanted for robbery, a robbery which perhaps took place in the city of El Monte. So these suspects refusing to pull over, obviously facing some serious charges. It's passing Burbank Boulevard, continuing southbound 5. as we start to speed up a little bit. Worth noting that the driving has not been terribly erratic, but dangerous nonetheless, as you can see him picking up steam here. Southbound side of the 5 freeway, once again approaching the 134. Would venture to say he's going to stick with the 5 freeway as he opens up a little bit of space between him and that primary unit. Now a full 10 or 12 car lengths back, trying to keep up with them. But it is a risk, especially at these speeds. Now pushing 90 miles per hour with his headlights off. Fortunately, they have the help of that helicopter. At least 4 units behind him. Their sirens are flashing and blaring. Over to the right now. We'll see if that's an indication of an exit, or maybe contemplating an exit. Or he could very well once again stick with the 5 freeway, which is my bet. Doing a lot more weaving as he tries to get around the little traffic that there is out here. Now in Glendale's jurisdiction, as he maintains his composure. Again, this driving has been very, very competent. I mean, the movements behind the wheel have not been terribly erratic. He's not swerving very erratically at all. He's basically doing the speed limit or above, now pushing about 15 to 20 miles over the speed limit as he pushes the gas pedal a little bit further. But overall, we're not talking about an extremely dangerous pursuit, but nonetheless, somebody who is refusing to pull over. And that obviously creating inherent risks there. It looks like that's an Altima. Looks to be a Nissan Altima with no plates. Could not identify any plates on that rear. So it'll be interesting to find out how they found the suspect, whether it was just a vehicle description that was on the lookout for or what. But in any event, does not appear to be any plates on the rear of that vehicle. And now you can see once again, he has done this several times, turned off his lights. He is now completely blacked out. Southbound side of the 5 freeway through Atwater Village, coming up on the 2 freeway. Likely going to bypass the 2 as he maintains the middle lane there. CHP now in a position where they're able to possibly create a traffic break behind him, although it looks like they're following in a single file line using that number 3 lane. Fortunately, as I mentioned, not a whole lot of traffic. It could pick up a little bit more here, but right now you can see he's relatively lonely there on the southbound side of the 5 freeway, passing Elysian Park. Making his way towards the East LA interchange at about 80 miles per hour. No signs of even thinking about pulling over. Back over to the right. Just past the 110 freeway now, continuing southbound on the 5 freeway through Lincoln Heights, all the way to the number 1 lane as he continues to hover between 80 and 90 miles per hour in the fast lane there. 4 CHP units right behind him, preparing to hand this off to a neighboring division of California Highway Patrol. Again, that CHP helicopter is still overhead. Occasionally you'll see that night sun pop up, and there it is right there, giving him a little bit of illumination as he still has his headlights off. So his vehicle is blacked out, headlights and taillights are out. Again, if you're just joining us, these are armed robbery suspects. A crime committed in El Monte, a pursuit that started in the Century area of LA County Sheriff's jurisdiction, and now looks like he's getting off the 5. We are at the East LA interchange, and it looks like he may be getting onto maybe the 10. Is that transition going to put him on the 10, or is he going to come back around here onto State Street? No, north. Getting back onto the northbound 5? Or is that the 10? Always difficult here once we're in the Spaghetti interchange on the north side of the East LA interchange. And sure enough, he is now on the 10 freeway, eastbound 10 freeway. Eastbound 10. Ooh, something flew off the vehicle there. Did you see that? Interesting. Something went flying there. Almost looked like a tire. Maybe it was a tire in the road. In any event, still blacked out. Eastbound side of the 10 freeway. About 75 miles per hour. CHP continuing to transition to the 10 with him. There's 4 units altogether. Again, if you're just joining us in the last several minutes, this is the second time that the driver of that Nissan Sentra has chosen to use the 10 freeway. He came off the 5 freeway earlier in the pursuit, which is now going on close to an hour. Got off on the 10, went all the way out to Garfield, got off at Garfield, turned around, came back west on the 10 freeway, back to the 5, northbound 5 into the San Fernando Valley, got off at Roscoe, and then another U-turn back onto the southbound 5, and he's now retracing his steps once again. So no clear destination in mind, but at the very least, if there's any good news here, he is using the freeway, which is forcing him to exhaust a whole lot of fuel, which he may or may not have. In any event, looks like a exit, getting off at Eastern Avenue. Off of the 10 freeway at Eastern Avenue. Another opportunity to get back on, or maybe transition onto the 710. Transitioning on to the southbound 710. Suspect in the number 4 lane, hugging that right lane, ready to get off maybe again. A much quieter night on the 710. Very few cars to speak of. You can see he's not passing anybody. What was that? Oh, really? All right, so Not sure how, but hearing a possibility that he may be missing a tire. That may have very well been a tire that flew off the vehicle back there on the 10 freeway. Can't confirm it just yet. Looks like the left side of the vehicle is relatively intact. At some point here, we'll get on the other side and we'll see if we can get a visual of those right wheels. But I don't know. A little more gain there. Let me just see if there's any sign of rubber. I don't see any sparks flying yet, but there is a report from down there that he may be, yeah, look at that. That front left tire, I don't think there's anything left, and there's some sparks. So he's now missing a tire, and we're starting to see some more sparks flying off of that front left wheel. Not sure how that tire came off, but you have to wonder how he's maintaining the speed and control of the vehicle at these speeds, doing about 80 to 90 miles per hour ever since he's been on the 710 freeway, and that's with 3 tires. And there you see some more sparks flying off of that front left rim, and that's going to start to run down. That's going to start to lead to trouble here. The vehicle now on borrowed time without that front tire. Gotta wonder whether there was a spike strip on one of those transitions that we may have possibly missed, or whether that almost has to be what it is. But in any event, you can see him maintaining his speed here. Southbound side of the 5 freeway through the city of Commerce, coming up on Bell Gardens. No signs of slowing down, and that's going to make those wheels start to really heat up. Look at how fast he is riding that front left rim, losing a little bit of control there. A last-minute turn over the gore point, was showing signs of maybe exiting Atlantic, but now committing to the 710 freeway, passing that semi-truck. And we'll see if they close in on him, or at least start to close the gap between them. Again, 4 units in pursuit. California Highway Patrol not letting this one go, especially considering the condition of the vehicle now. This is likely going to end on the freeway. Of course, that's just speculation, but you can see some more sparks being created as that aluminum grinds into the pavement there along the 710 freeway. Let's count them. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CHP units forming an effective traffic break behind them. Additional CHP units joining the party here as he continues southbound side of the 710 freeway, speeds in excess of 75 miles per hour. Squeezing along the shoulder there. Again, we've said this before, but he's maintaining remarkable control of the vehicle, especially considering that he's missing that front left tire. So as far as we could tell, the vehicle driving on 3 tires and a rim, riding those middle lanes of the southbound 710 freeway. It's coming up on Firestone Boulevard now. Off the freeway, off the 710, off the freeway. A little bit of smoke as he exits here, applying the brakes, creating a lot of heat. Here comes some more brake lights as he approaches the end of this exit ramp. Looks to be getting off at Wright Road. Through the light, slowing down into a residential neighborhood. Another left turn here into an even narrower street, St. James Avenue. Picking up steam here as he makes his way through these sets of homes. Again, on 3 tires, losing some more metal there, and you can see they are able to, they're still behind him. You can see the flashing red and blue lights. A lot of activity coming from that driver's seat. And now back onto Imperial Highway. Slowing down a little bit here, but still looks like they're trying to figure out where they want to take this. Heading back towards the freeway. Back towards the freeway, over the freeway. Over the freeway, past a construction zone on Imperial Highway. CHP continuing off the freeway. And we'll throw up that real-time speed tracker. It looks like about 45, maybe 40 miles per hour. Through the red, through the red. Slowing down, coming up on another red light here into a shopping center or gas station. Oh, look at that, a wild move. Something we really haven't seen here for most of this pursuit. Jump the curb there, use that gas station to get around that red light, and is now picking up speed once again on Imperial Highway.
Good evening, Mark Brown joining you now on this pursuit. It has been pretty strange, to say the least. We've got some armed robbery, one armed robbery suspect at the wheel of what is believed to be a Nissan Sentra. Chris Christie overhead in Air 7 HD. Glad to join you this evening as we watch this thing.
Eastbound Imperial Highway.
Eastbound on Imperial Highway. The left front tire missing.
Is that right? Through another red light.
And I'm not sure if Chris can hear me. Hey, Chris, can you hear me? Chris Christie? While we get that audio problem sorted out, we can tell you there's at least one person in the vehicle. Okay. Looks like a second person, a passenger, in the front passenger seat. Now, he's trying to maneuver through traffic here as he heads on East Imperial Highway. And again, the left front tire is gone. He's on the rim on the left front tire. That has led to some sparks flying on occasion. and to what you would think would be some pretty bad maneuverability problems, but so far he's been able to do it.
Driver
Now
out,
he's
driver
foot
out,
bailing.
driver jumping out of the vehicle. Driver running through a parking lot, getting out of the vehicle, into another group of cars, and it looks like a commercial
Going into a
parking
commercial
lot.
building. Looks like a liquor store.
Helicopter able to keep the night sun on him, but those CHP units are still handling the passenger. Don't see anybody chasing him on foot yet. We'll see what some of these businesses are. If he's, okay, that's not him. Wonder how he either made his way into one of these, it looks like a liquor store there. Oh no, I hope he's not in that liquor store.
That would be a big problem.
Doesn't look like it. You can see somebody there at the front door. That night sun following along the perimeter of the building.
Is this the guy?
That's not him either. Is it? I don't think so.
I don't think he had that much time to change. He wasn't wearing anything like that when he got out of the vehicle.
Yeah, I don't think so. But somebody with a guilty conscience putting both hands up in the air. And you can see them now scouring this entire parking lot, looking for any sign. You can see there's a gap between that liquor store and that other building, and he may have very well squeezed between the two. I can't tell. It looks like there's a possible gate there. I can't tell. They're now going to peek inside that liquor store. K9 units already on scene. There's several witnesses who can help those officers out because he is not, I mean, look at them. They're kind of staying outside of the liquor store. Wonder if he might be inside the liquor store.
Oh, now they're going down the street through the parking lot. Again, this was the driver who took off on foot. Now the dog is, why is the dog chewing on this guy?
Yeah, and I don't think that's him, Mark. I don't think that's him.
If our director Mark can get us video of the re-rack that video of the person that was running out of the car. We're trying to get that. He's in there by himself trying to get that video. We're going to try to get that to you. This doesn't, although he seems to be of similar height. That guy looked like he was pretty tall, but as I recall, I think he was wearing a white shirt, right? It had a white hat, black hat. This is a Dodger hat, and
yeah, the other guy was wearing blue jeans and a black T-shirt.
Right? Yeah, there was
blue jeans, black T-shirt. They're talking about some activity behind that shopping center, between those apartments and the liquor store. I wonder if somebody else has called in here, but there's somebody reportedly running back there.
Okay.
I just don't think that. I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
Roughing him up quite a bit. But I don't see any activity back there from what I could tell, and no sign of law enforcement, so I'm not sure where that report's coming from, but you can see them
light-colored
looking around
jeans
with
and a black shirt and a black hat. That's who ran out of the vehicle.
Yep.
And that is completely not the description of the person that they had down that was being chewed on by the K9 unit there. This
totally
person, it
different
looks
suspect.
like,
They
may
do have
gone,
a passenger, at least one passenger in custody.
Female
Passenger. Not clear if there was a third suspect. There was a report of a third, but not sure if they've already gotten somebody else out of there. But in any event, at least the passenger and the driver, obviously, who is now being sought after between this apartment building and the liquor store shopping center there off of Imperial Highway and Downey Avenue is where we are.
All right, and what you spotted, that seems to comport with what may have happened here. As he saw, there is a gap between those two buildings with what looks like a gate. And if he was agile enough, he may have been able to jump over that gate and run into the gap between those two buildings and then try to make his way down back behind. What do we see? Wait a minute. Look in that corner. Look in that corner there where the night sun is. No, go down a little bit. Tilt down.
Yep, I think I saw what you saw, Mark.
I saw a little movement right there.
There was some movement coming from that area, and that's where the night sun is focused. That is CHP's helicopter right overhead. Following reports of somebody apparently running behind the businesses back there. There appears to be some movement, but I don't see anybody running.
All right, right there where the sun is. You see that movement right there? Let's zoom in. The dark area to the just directly down from this building. just down a little bit. In
little bit
that
more.
area is what it,
Tilt
right
down
in
a
there,
little
right,
bit
stop,
more.
stop, stop, stop. Right in
Right
there is
there.
where it looked like there was some movement a second ago.
Maybe
I may have
underneath
been
that,
wrong, but you see how the shadows move around because the helicopters are moving? That is
Yeah.
possibly what it was, but I thought I saw some movement in there.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, and actually that happens quite a bit to us up here because as those shadows move around, it can play tricks on the eyes, if you will. But it certainly appears that they are focused back there. They're looking for some more activity. They're probably realizing now that that other person in a baseball cap is not their
the guy.
but you still see some more officers in front, and I wonder if they have access to other cameras back there. You never know, especially in the rear of the business.
It is possible, too, if there's a rear door, that he might have run right through the liquor store.
Right through the liquor store.
Right,
Very
and
possible.
that's possible.
Yep.
Looks like that may
Absolutely.
be it right there, and that he may have run through and is back behind the building or has made his way to some other exit.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense as well. In fact, that's the only other way I could see him getting through. I don't think he had enough time. By the time he would have run around the building and back there, he would have lost some steam. We would have seen him. We would have seen some indication. And there was other people in front as well who would have pointed police in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is back there, if those reports are correct, I have a feeling you might be right. He may have very well just run straight through.
Yeah, and we're getting a better description. Our floor director, Mike Gilbert, was able to get a screenshot from our air on his phone. This is how we're doing this stuff now. The guy had a beard, too. The suspect had a beard. He was wearing a black T-shirt with some sort of logo, it appears, on the back of it, and a black hat with some sort of logo on the front of the hat, and what appeared to be light or gray jeans or pants, and he had a beard. So we're zooming in on it literally right now, but you know, that's the shot that we got from Air 7 HD, thankfully, and we obviously can relay that to whoever needs it to look for this person. But there he is. Interesting stride he had there. But so far, able to elude police. He was running fast enough to be able to get away thus far. There was some kind of, looked like a winged sort of a logo on the back of the shirt. Pretty distinctive.
Yeah.
It's not just some plain, you know, incognito sort of outfit he's got on. Plus, he's got short sleeves. He's probably the only person within miles who's in, who's in shirt sleeves right now because it's freezing out there at night. Now it looks like there's some police activity behind the building. You see a flashlight moving around back there.
Have they made their way back there?
It
Yeah.
looks like it.
Yep,
Yeah, you've got cops with
there's some
flashlights.
activity. Some flashlights. You see additional agencies now joining the surge here. Downey Police, LA County Sheriff, California Highway Patrol at the end of this pursuit. None of them were able to. Is that him? That's not him. That's
That's
another.
not him.
Is that somebody else though? Somebody
That's
else. in
somebody
handcuffs?
else.
Okay, so
Wonder how many people.
there might be
were-
somebody else back there. Let's keep moving in that direction. I
Right.
wonder.
Now, keep in mind, this is an armed robbery suspect, correct? This is someone who's believed to have committed an armed robbery.
That's right.
Recently,
Yeah.
so they don't know whether the person they're looking for has a weapon on them. They've got to be very careful with this search. They can't just go running up and down the street looking for this guy. They've got to be very careful about when they open a door, when they open the lid to some crawl space or something that they're looking at. They've got to be. They can't just kind of charge around through this area looking for this guy because he may have a firearm on him and could really cause some damage. So, you know, it has to be meticulous, but it has an urgency to it because this is a wanted felon who has fled from police and has so far been able to get away.
Yeah, and the report is that he may have very well been armed. So, sorry,
Go ahead.
somebody coming out the front door. Somebody coming out the front door. That's no, that's the other guy. That's not him. That's not
Wait.
unless he put on a jacket.
Unless he put on a jacket. Check his shoes.
Yeah.
Let's see if his shoes. Okay, because the guy had on kind of high top shoes and very skinny jeans, if memory serves.
But in any event, you're right, Mark. He was reportedly armed. They have to treat this very methodically. You can see them with their guns drawn as they scour the back of that business.
Does he
Is
have
that
a
him?
beard? Does this guy have a beard? And there's hats off.
I wonder where he got the jacket from.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It is possible. It's hard to tell.
Doesn't seem to have
Those
the
jeans
same
look
build.
baggier than the ones
They look baggier than the other guy. I agree, Mark.
Yeah, this is. I don't think this is the guy either. But what are the odds that you know, they're scooping people up outside of this liquor store? That's the second person that they've got handcuffed. Maybe they're having somebody try to ID this person. But the jeans definitely look baggier than the ones that guy had on. We could be wrong.
I agree, and even a slightly heavier set fellow.
Yeah.
So
the other guy was skinnier.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, man, I got to wonder now whether he's hiding amongst those apartments back there, because this business appears to be relatively secure now. Who's this?
That's not the guy.
This is the guy that was attacked by the dog.
That was the original guy that was attacked by the dog, who was, when we first saw him, was walking
basically
away from the liquor store.
Yeah.
I think he had a tall boy in his hand.
Immediately put his hands up in the air.
And put his hands up in the air and appeared to be complying, and then we moved off, and the next thing we know, the dog is chewing on this guy.
Very, very odd. But as they focus on all of this activity in the front, I can't help but wonder if he's not in this shopping center, where could he have gone? And I can only think that maybe he's hiding amongst those apartments back there, which is some cause for alarm, especially, you know, at this hour of the night. Let's go ahead and widen out a little bit more, Rob, excuse me, and see, is there any activity at all back there? You still see the night sun kind of peering between the buildings. Still only a handful of units. Yeah, there's some more officers with their flashlights back there, looking around that apartment building, looking for any hiding spots. Could have easily climbed to one of those balconies to hide out. Lots of hiding spots, quite frankly. But I don't think that the two people in front, at least the two people that I've seen them speaking with, I don't think either of them are related to this at all. I really don't.
It's hard to tell. The one thing is those jeans are light colored. His pants are light colored. But, you know, what are we, 800 feet in the air, 1,000 feet in the air? It's kind of hard, you know. We do have video of that suspect running away, and at the time he was wearing a hat. He had on a short-sleeved T-shirt with a golden, some sort of logo on the back of it. If this person is wearing that sort of a shirt, obviously it's been covered by this hoodie that he's got on. And the jeans the pants appear to be baggier than what this guy was wearing.
This guy's wearing a mask.
Or is it a mask? Oh, it's a mask. Maybe it wasn't a beard. Okay, well, there you go. That might be a thing.
Could you tell, Rob, was he wearing a mask when he was running? I don't Yeah, let's go ahead and try that one more time. I just want to get one more view up here of the suspect as he was running across the lanes there. He was wearing a mask.
Yeah, that was a mask, not a beard.
He was wearing a mask. Look at that.
So.
And he is not quite as skinny as I thought, but I still can't tell whether it's the same person and where he would have gotten that hoodie from.
Looks similar, but you know, now if he's grabbed a hoodie from somebody, then it makes sense. Then it looks more like the guy, you know. I bet if we were to see him running, we could probably pick him out. But the good news is nobody that we know of has been hurt. Well, I shouldn't say that. I need to check myself. Somebody got hurt. It was the guy that was walking out of the liquor store that got bitten by the police dog. So that person, and you know, a German Shepherd is no joke. When they're biting you, that can be extremely serious, and
it sure can.
It could merit a trip to the hospital for that individual who may have just been minding his own business, walking away from a liquor store, and ended up being chewed on by a police dog. So there is that part of this.
Wouldn't be surprised to see an ambulance pull in here any second. But
He's
in the meantime,
down.
I tell you what I don't see, Mark, is any attempt at a perimeter.
Right.
It doesn't even look like they're setting up for any kind of a containment. So. You know, if he's not here, he's gone, essentially, because there is no way at this point that they have enough manpower to set up. There's the ambulance.
Yeah, you called it.
Paramedics on scene down there, and here's the stretcher.
Yeah, and this guy, who's still in handcuffs,
Let's go ahead and back up a little bit, Justin. We'll pull back away from the front of the awning there and get a better view of the unlucky.
Yeah, this individual who, by all appearances, was not
bleeding.
in any way connected. Yeah, you can see the blood on the ground. He was not connected, to our knowledge, to this situation, and all of a sudden was being, basically chewed on by a police canine. He doesn't match a description of the suspect. He's got on a Dodgers cap.
There's a lawsuit.
Yeah, it could potentially be, and he's. I think he has something to say to the officers right now. I'm not sure what the discussion is, obviously, that's going on there, but this is an unfortunate part of what happened here. We still aren't positive that the person that they have in custody, the other person that they have in custody, is in fact the driver. We know there was a female passenger who stayed with the vehicle and was immediately arrested by the highway patrol, and now they've obviously, well, that's the car that was involved. They've cleared that, and so now the question is, do they have the right person and or people, and is that the end of this pursuit, which began, as you have been reporting, with a report of an armed robbery?
So, Mark, we're hearing now that there are 2 people being taken into custody, not including the female.
Okay.
And that leads me to wonder whether maybe this guy here ran in the other direction. We automatically, at the end of these pursuits, immediately, instinctively follow the driver when they foot bail.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite possible that somebody else in the back seat ran away from the vehicle in a different direction,
Mm-hmm.
and could be related. It's not out of the question. It's at least possible, and
Sure.
I should put that out there as a possibility. As we followed the driver with the camera, we don't exactly know whether anybody else fled the vehicle, and it very well could be the case that somebody did, and it could in fact be the person who was tracked down by that canine. So you can see him now being treated and taken in for questioning.
Well, they're certainly treating him as a suspect. He's still handcuffed. They're searching him, it looks like. They're putting some bandages on them, but we assume that there will be a search, if there hasn't been one already,
Yep.
Of this individual. So it's really difficult for us to determine from this literal and figurative altitude to determine what we're looking at here in terms of this person, or in fact in terms of the other person that they've got in custody, the other male. But we do know this guy was bitten by the police dog rather severely. He's being bandaged on scene right now, but you see spots of blood on the ground next to his right foot. And we do not know what exactly happened here.
What his involvement is.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't appear to be. I didn't see anybody else running, but it's certainly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not, it could always be that they found something else on him, but we have no evidence of that.
Right.
All we saw was the dog taking him down, quite
Mm-hmm.
frankly. And even that was peculiar because he was already showing signs of compliance.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had his hands up, and then you and I think everybody from our end thought that, no, that can't be, that's not the guy we saw running out, so we're looking for the guy that ran out. And he just continued walking, to the left of the screen. We left him with our camera, followed, and then our only clue that this was even happening was that another police dog was alerting on him, on the other police dog that was chewing on him.
Right.
It was the other dog that started lunging in that direction, and then they headed in that direction, and we followed. And that's when we saw this guy and thought, okay, and I immediately thought, I don't know if he's connected to this at all. But it is, as you say, it is possible. We don't know.
And to your earlier point, it is fortunate that nobody else was hurt during this pursuit, and the pursuit, for whatever reason, came to a very sudden stop there as he ran across the median, although I think it was pretty evident that the vehicle itself was on borrowed time without that front left tire. You can see the sparks increasing in veracity, and you could just tell that he was starting to lose steam there, and maybe even running out of gas. So he just came to a sudden stop, ran across that median, and the pursuit is now over as they shut down this section of Imperial Highway for an investigation. piecing all of this together, trying to figure out who's who here. But at the very least, it does not appear that anybody else was hurt. There was no other traffic collisions here. And to give you a better idea where we are at Paramount Boulevard and Imperial Highway.
All right, and it looks like it's over. 3 people now in custody. The person that we believe may have been the driver, a female passenger, and this man, whose disposition we do not know, but who has been strapped to the gurney. His hands are free. He's no longer or maybe one hand is handcuffed.
Off.
They took one handcuff off. Is his other hand cuffed to the gurney?
I can't see the other hand mark,
Yeah.
but at one point he was in handcuffs.
Right.
And now it looks like his left hand is completely free here. So it takes time, and of course, as you said, we can only speculate from our vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be interesting to see ultimately what the official word is once we get a hold of a PIO here soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like if he is injured, yeah, he is strapped there.
His
right arm
is
handcuffed
to the gurney. Right.
But it doesn't look to be terribly serious. He's up and conscious, breathing and alert. And
he's going to have some serious bite wounds to be treated, that's for sure.
For sure.
All right. Well, this pursuit has come to an end, as you have reported. We have seen 3 people taken into custody. One we are pretty much certain was actually in the car at the time the pursuit ended. That was the woman who was leaning up against it and was then quickly apprehended by the CHP. The other 2 we're not certain about. We don't really quite know their connection to this. One of them may be the driver, and this man, we don't know if he is connected to this or not. But we hope to find out more information. And we will do that as Eyewitness News prepares to go on the air at 11 o'clock. But for now, Mark Brown and Chris Christie here streaming, and you've watched that pursuit unfold and end, and that is going to be it as far as our coverage for now. But anything new that is warranted of additional coverage, we will certainly bring that to you. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you a little bit later.